for some more unique mid lane champions that we haven't seen in a while here. That's what I'm wondering. Like, what do we got in store? I went over
Victor Corky.
Vladimir. Don't say that.
Oh,
Victor was a good shout. I didn't think about that. Is now banned. Aurora, although this champion has been getting nerfed a lot, that's a champion that I would be thinking about.
I could see that. The Jax isn't coming through for Zika. This is something he's very comfortable with.
Very
also
good.
just gives you so much side lane pressure, especially with the newer items as well. IG going to have a tough task of it. They will still be giving over counter pick to Weibo, but they'll be able to double lock in here, try to figure out what they want to take into the Jax. But that also means that we're saving this mid lane counter for Xiaohu in R5.
Gragas top.
B5.
Yeah, B5. B5 now. All right, Gragas. I like it. You do really well into the Jax. Now, my wonder is, what are we getting in terms of magic damage? We saw the Azir get hovered earlier. I still think Aurora is fine for what they're showing. They're a very low-range composition coming in from Weibo, and IG want a lot of ways of stopping a fight. I wonder if we'll get some dis-synergy, though, between this Gragas and this Mbessa.
Yeah, I mean, both of these guys were pretty epic on the Aurora last year. Still have my ifs, ands, and buts about the champion itself and how it functions on the map. Cassio going to come through for Xiaohu, trying to lock down any mobility that's coming through from this squad of IG.
Unless Weibo are winning, I think this Cassio is terrible here. This is awful.
Yeah?
How am I meant to play Cassio? There's a Leona ult. I have no boots. I cannot flash. There is a...
Hey, can't you get boots now?
You can get boots. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That's true.
Ah,
give her boots.
Snake with boots. What are you going to do about that?
But regardless, if I am Cassiopeia, how do I outplay a Leona ult and a Gragas ult?
Agreed.
Like,
so the case still stands.
This is not good. Like, I feel like Weibo are being a bit greedy, and this comes down to the man in the mid lane, the franchise man of Weibo Gaming. How are we picking Cassio in this situation? You're already a very low-range team with Nico and Jax and Xin. I think you're asking a lot of this champion.
If he gets ahead, I can see it. I think from behind, it's going to be very tough. Luckily, they have a couple other things that they can really rely on. We really focused on that Jax for Zika, as well as the Zeri there for Elk, and a continuation of what was a very strong performance in game number 2 from both of those players. Trying to crest that over into this game number 3 are going to be swapped sides this time around, so it's going to be a little bit of a different take for both teams. But I do really find that a lot of this still centers around the tempo and the control that is going to come out of the jungle. And when we go back to that narrative, obviously it's Jiejie versus Jwei. We've talked about it so much about the history between these two, but now it all comes down to the line. Who won the offseason? Jwei sticking with IG or Jiejie finding a new home on Weibo? Game 3 kicks off now in our first best of 3 of 2026.
Double grass procs in top lane, so a lot of talking about survival when we're looking at this lane. And I think if we get into late game skirmishes, IG are going to feel really confident. They've got a lot of good bursts, especially from the mid jungle. See what this 2v2. This is a much stronger 2v2, especially for the Sivir and Leona.
We've seen the 2v2s kind of kick off early in both prior games as well, both back and forth in each game respectively. The Erha Nico, though, very terrifying. He gets so much damage down early. Jwei's going to try to look for it. Oh, doesn't find the Zenith Blade on the tip of it. And now it's all about focusing on clearing the minions and getting that level 2.
Should be fine. We hit level 2 first. That is Zeri and them trying to move forward there. Alright, I mean, again, jungler's pathing down bot. I'm worried here, Lennon, and I need to see whether or not we can actually get anything out of this mid lane matchup. We have kind of talked a lot about the Cassiopeia by itself, but the theoretical value of this champion does grow if we can see Weibo get an early lead, which has been very tough for them so far here in this series.
That's an understatement at this point. I feel like IG have had the better end of the early game each time. But Jwei, he's going to be on this Mbessa. So there you're going to have a bit of proactivity there. I'm really excited to see what the Ambessa can do in jungle at this level of play as well. The speed and the engage potential you have with that public execution. Gonna go ahead and go for the double clear now as well.
He's already done. We're
Yeah.
2-4. It's gonna be 240, and he's gonna be done with blue buff. Like this is
Crazy.
By the way, and this champion has been like this for almost the entire year. I want to put that out, by the way.
It's just crazy. You know how many world records are gonna be broken now this season? For
Oh boy.
passes clear.
True.
crazy.
Can't
No
wait.
context needed.
Well, he's going to get bottom side scuttle, and with the wave bouncing back on top side and already Aurora getting pushed, I imagine that this could be an angle for Jwei to go for a little bit more. Instead, he's going to take his recall, just get right back into those camps. You can blitz level 6 on this champion incredibly quick, especially with all the new jungle changes. That's exactly what we're going to be seeing.
Nice little double tango barb there, but fortunately Elk was not around to be able to capitalize on it. He will end up going for the cull, so he's going to be stacking up with that one. Yeah, it is going to be the redeploy from Jwei up towards his top side. He might look for a stop-off gank with this push coming through right now from Zika.
Ooh.
He does get spotted out.
This is
Zika's
tough,
still
though.
positioning.
Like, the wave is pushing away from Zika, and you don't have any crowd control. This is one of the reasons why I hate this Ambessa champion in jungle. You have no setup, and that'll be a reoccurring theme here in this game. The only relevant crowd control that this IG team has is Leona. So you are going to be hard-pressed to find good angles to land public executions on moving targets.
Xiaohu's actually going to get a press on a rookie with those boots completed. By the way, can we just like take a moment and play the Titanic theme song for the fact that a snake can wear boots now? It's been years. It's been
Is that a
long
Titanic
time.
reference?
No, I just the the like epic, really emotional music. Just
Okay.
need to pour one out for the bootless Cassiopeias.
I always felt like they should have just kept the boots for Cassiopeia because it would have been like a cute Toy Story reference. But
That's still one of the best scenes in all of Toy Story. Though. You know. We'll see if those boots pay off, though. It did already in a little bit of trading against Rookie there, but in the long term, we'll see as plate goes over to Zika. A small advantage there. And unfortunately, the wave states are just kind of completely pressed right now, except for this top lane as of yet for Weibo. Jiejie going to find Rookie. Rookie on the wrong side of town. Snake comes out of the bushes. He tries to go to the other side. He makes it out alive.
Jiejie thought about it. He wanted to use the flash there. Here's a fight. Okay.
You get the double CC chain with the boomerang blade on top of Elk. I'm pretty sure he'll be fine. They will end up burning the heal. That'll be 2 summoner spells actually with the barrier burned by Photic.
A laning phase that I really feel like IG are kind of coming out clutch on right now. They're doing well enough in the bottom lane. You're down 10, but I don't think this matters when you're playing Sivir. You're going to just hoover up minion waves like a machine later on in the game. And even with all of that investment around this mid lane play, it means that Rookie's first back out on the map, and he gets to move into River here.
He's also going to move right into Jiejie's waiting arms. Not level 6 just yet for Jiejie, but the dragon has been started. Rookie preemptive fight. They will get a little bit of vision play here. They find Elk. Elk tries to go. He does get away with the hop over the wall. That was so close to being devastating early for Weibo. Besides that, they'll just lose the dragon.
Round drag early. What else can Jiejie get? Because there are some camp spawning on the top side. He'll take enemy red buff. If he can get enemy raptors, that's great, but I think it's just going to be a red buff into some scuttle crab in the river. This is a problematic matchup. I mean, Aurora's whole kind of kit is based around her being able to deal a lot of extra damage around her passive. And Cassiopeia is going to be building a lot of mana, a lot of HP thanks to Rod of Ages and having that Seraph shielding. So if we can't see an early enough lead here from this champion from Rookie, I think that Cassio is going to be scaling quite nicely here in this game, despite some of my concerns.
Yeah, Rookie was maybe looking for a trade angle there, but ends up taking a brunt of damage. You do have Jwei coming down the wave here. See if they want to try to get something pulled off, but it's going to look a little bit troublesome right now from IG's side of things in this mid lane. Xiaohu has a pretty decent advantage, at least in health as of now. Both junglers going to be repathing back down through their jungle, back down towards bot side. We'll have to have Dragon for a little while, but I do expect them to turn back around to go for this Rift Herald in about 40 seconds.
I like this from Weibo, especially from Erha with this Nico, just getting tons of information. As Weibo, he just went in the top side, he stole his red buff. You know that he doesn't have anything on top side, so get early vision, and they have essentially perfect information on Wei. They have a lot of his timers for his jungle camps, and they have an idea that he should be on the bottom side of the map here.
And it's calm, which hasn't necessarily been the case all series. As long as we just take a minute to accept this moment, as both teams really feeling a lot of respect for each other in this last game. At least not trying to push the tempo, not trying to push the mold any, not making too many risky decisions. But speaking of, we have full engage, 100 to 0'd. Down goes Erha, and that is a big pig. Gets the flash of Elk too, just preemptively to make sure that Wei wasn't going to publicly execute it.
Well, that is one of the ways you can punish. Usually, you know, when you're playing against Nico, you can try to poke her out because she doesn't have a lot of tank stats as a mage. And usually that's in the form of a Karma lane in the support role, but they're just doing it with this Leona, and they get a bonus on top of it. They get the flash out from Elk as well.
That's just crazy. He died 100 to 0 right there. Publicly executed is Xiaohu's going to try to flash away. Does try to get away. Does actually successfully do so with Erha's help. That's going to be his flash burn. You would have loved to save that for a potential flash ult play, but that's not going to be the case now. Grubs should go the way of IG.
I don't know, because they just use a lot of buttons. Rookie's going to have to recall and teleport back in, and Erha just got level 6 off of that mid lane wave that he was able to soak. So this turns into Weibo picking up the Grubs on the top side, and that's pretty good. You have a Jax. Cassio now is going to be even more incentivized to be a strong side lane menace. I don't know who's going to deal with her later in the game at this point. This early game that I was hoping from IG is not really panned out in the same way that I think they were expecting. And we'll get a look at what happened for Erha.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of a tough angle. I mean, you're just not super tanky, and they have so much CC there.
Good layering from Jwei. And again, the E over the wall, flash, maybe recognizing that there's going to be an Ibessa in his lane sooner rather than later. Okay.
Oh, they got the slowdown on Xiaohu. I don't know if it's enough. The Weirdning was not enough damage, and Jiejie was there to back him up just in case. Goes straight for the fight on the way. Be a little bit scared about that one. Elk's going to go ahead and pop the lightning crash, try to get Photic down. Does get the slow with the ultra shock laser. Doesn't get much damage on the back end of that one. That will be his lightning crash down. You did also get the on the hunt pop as well from Photic.
For me, I'm just trying to get waves right now. I'm just trying to push these into the enemy turret 45 seconds before the dragon. Erha's getting vision down on the bottom side. You saw that Jwei, he had moved over, but he doesn't have very many wards right now. This means that Weibo get to work with so much more info. This vision toggle from our observers can just show how empty it is. There's some pretty expeditionary wards coming in from IG, but nothing that gives them, I think, meaningful information on this upcoming objective.
Random minion comes from the bushes. You know something's up. And there will be a lot of farm that Photic is missing out on. Not able to have any support in that lane, but he will have Wei and Jwei, the tag team duo, coming down towards bot side to relieve him just a bit. Going to get some of this vision back down ahead of this dragon spawning.
So no flash from Cassio coming into this play. Can we punish? That is the perspective of IG. It is more likely that they're probably not going to be able to touch this dragon, but they know that there's no flash on Elk or on Xiaohu. These are targets that I'm going to be looking for them to punish. Otherwise, now we're moving into a territory where, I mean, do we actually get to finish some of our quests a little bit sooner? Do we even potentially get to finish some of our items, right? Like, this Cassio is scaling this entire time. I mean, so is Sivir, but I would rather have a Cassio in this moment.
Yeah. I think there's just a lot more consistency from the side of Weibo's draft. The flash play from Zika, trying to get the kill on the Soboro, but doesn't end up getting it. They'll be both their flashes burned, both their ultimates burned. But it's just a lot more execution based for IG in these fights, whereas you continue scaling, some of these pieces for Weibo are just going to be too strong. Xiaohu maybe caught out here, but does have Jiejie there, is stuck in place. Rookie gets knocked up by the 3-talent strike. Erha going to go for the flash play, does lock down Rookie, but is it enough? They don't have enough damage. The Twin Fangs, it's not going to be it. Jiejie is the one that cleans up the kill, gets another one, and a little bit of recompense to his old team, IG.
Excellently played there from Weibo, and Xiaohu with the miasma completely stops Jwei from making anything happen in that mid lane. So they'll get 2 kills. They'll even get the flash from Rookie and grab a dragon on top of that. Hey, let's throw in some mid lane plates for that as well. Weibo playing really cleanly around this mid jungle duo, and I mean, we haven't seen too much of Erha in this game, but I will say Jiejie is really making the Sins Out pop. Let's take a look back at this one. I mean, again, miasma perfect. Rookie has no damage. He has so few items this early on in the game that the early game damage we expect from an Aurora is just not there. And Erha with a flash, follow up for Pop Blossom, that's it. That's all your damage, and that's the fight going their way.
And it's just some of the capitalization, like the 3-talent strike there right in the middle of it, just locking them down, and some of that direction coming from Jiejie that we know and love. Also, shout out to Xiaohu, bring out the Cassiopeia. I called it for the draft. I think like the mobility defying moments with the miasma are so big against this squad, and it comes up paying dividends there. And now he's going to be closer and closer to his first item, still scaling on this Cassio, and see how much he can do to try to lead from the front like we asked for from the beginning. Him and Jiejie are going to be extremely important as this game goes on. About 1:20 for the next Rift Herald.
A lot about porching. I expect that this Weibo team is just going to be a organization that scales throughout this year. We talked about it at the very top of show, but we got to see the cam of the coaches. That was Coach Selen, who has been with the org for a couple of years now. They did bring in Coach Shine from HLE, and Coach Kim from this most recent Gen G run, hoping that they can kind of right the ship that has been a kind of floundering Xiaohu in the mid lane. So far, I think that they've been able to at least right what's gone wrong here in this series. That game 1 was abysmal, and since then it's been all peaches and rainbows here.
Yeah, apparently. That's all. You just need to wake up. It's like a slap to the face or a cold bucket of water. And then you just needed Elk to go 19 kills on a Kaisa. You're like, oh, yeah, wait, we have a carry? Holy
that's
hell.
LPL. It's the LPL Kaisa. You know, maybe some of these Korean coaches, they weren't ready for that. But, we brought them over. They're now getting to experience it very firsthand and not at an international event, which is probably a little bit nicer.
There you go.
So,
a little bit of vision contest coming out here in the top side jungle. Again, that Rift Herald is the next point of prize for both teams. A little bit of an advantage for Weibo, but how do you want to see this next fight play out?
Moving into Grubs right now. There are now flashes back up here for Weibo. What is Soboro doing? Saboro's just dead. Oh my god, he has used ult.
But now Jwei has to run away too because he knows he doesn't have any support from the top lane.
Well, now we just lost the entire objective. All right, well, IG just completely...
Oh, the 3-talent strike comes in as he goes through the dash. He's going to go down. That's a big pick from Erha. Now they're going to turn back on to Jiejie, though, and try to take him down. Jwei's locking him out. Rookie goes in, tries to get one, gets the Between Worlds kill onto him. He got the flash out as well. Meanwhile, the re-entrance from Weibo. They're going to find a kill on the Soboro. Now Elk is starting to pop off that lightning, shooting from his fingers while a double kill comes through for Zika.
Let's just get a free objective at this point. Maybe we even just fix our waves as Weibo Gaming. IG making a fair few mistakes here. Soboro especially, someone that is a bit of a newer prospect when we talk about playing in Tier 1 here in the LPL. Had a little bit of time on Fear X, but kind of having some more of those questionable games that we were looking at it from him. Oh, what exactly? Oh, it's his Sunfire.
Yep.
Oh,
yep.
Buddy. And then from here, like you mentioned, 3-talent strike in the middle of the knockup. Perfect. Also, look at the healing here from Jiejie. Goes down to about 600. Boom, gets Triumph healing. 3-talent strike plus his passive. And the damage from Rookie is great, but at this point, I think you have just wasted way too much to make good on this play. And talk about scaling. That Cassiopeia is picking up gold.
Left and right. And what's so crazy about this is we talked so much about their differing stories. These organizations in Demacia Cup, IG won the whole damn thing. They looked, Jwei was running that team through the finish line.
He's the MVP.
and he was absolutely the MVP, and Weibo was struggling. They did not have a lot of series. Yet here, they showed the grit that you need. They showed that the LPL regular season is a different beast, and they are ready to roll. 2.5K up. It's been a little bit dicey. It's been back and forth a bit this series for Weibo, but they are still in control.
Photic, I think that is evil to use the Faker Pengu emote. I think that's evil after what our boys just had to go through last year, okay? And the year before. And the year before.
Oh no, this Ambessa jungle just cannot catch a break. Elk finds his kill. And now that's right ahead of the dragon. That'll be second dragon for Weibo if they want it.
That's a free dragon, and they don't even have control of other lanes to even bother contesting for a topside Herald. Everything's just going from bad to worse, and for Weibo, I mean, you'll take these free wins at this point, but these were my reservations with this Ambessa jungle champion, and more of the way that we came to know for a large portion of the year in 2025.
Okay.
What the?
What
Brother,
the hell? He just lost his mind, bro. All right, well, a cask will serve you well. Soboro gets a redemption kill there. And what I was going to go into next was talking about how isn't this just like what happens to these junglers all the time? If they are so aggressive and sometimes aggressive to a fault, they want to make plays, they want to be proactive, they want to do things. And unfortunately for Wei, he's not allowed to.
Yeah, that's what happens when you're 0-2 beforehand. You just don't have the damage, and we don't have the crowd control. We don't have the setup. Large portion of what we talk about, especially at pro play, is how you approach a fight and how you're able to create conditions that are successful for your team. A lot of movement on the mini-map we're seeing from Weibo as they go towards the top side here.
The poison.
Okay, this was just well played from Soboro. Like, I get this from Xiaohu. Like, you should be trying to squeeze the lemon that is this Gragas, but it's probably another reason why you shouldn't be playing into that champion. It's just the matchup you don't want to be in as Casio. Let's not even be in that spot. Gonna make this dive out of Rookie Shine. It is just Erha.
It's fine for now. Jwei will come support him there. Do want to check in on the item completions, as we are on 2.5 items almost, with no full boot completed there for Photic. He'll be looking for his third item before he completes that. Yeah, the Rift Herald taken by Weibo here uncontested. We're going to be getting close to second items for them. You got the AP Baus build coming through from Zika.
There we go. Dusk and Dawn. Okay, actually, this has some legs. I think this has some legs to stand on. You know, on hit, passive. It has attack speed. It's basically like New Age Nashor's Tooth, even though that item is still in the game, with obviously a Spellblade passive. Okay. And you get to actually build Zonias, which has been a very important item for Jax's in the kind of new age of this champion. So, okay, I can kind of see it. How much is this going to really be worth it? Because as Soboro, you're stacking a lot of HP, and there's not really a true tank on this team outside of the Leona. Obviously, supports are not going to have access to the same amount of resources as some of the laners.
It'll be a curious question as we come upon it. As really do want to see how this maybe changes the meta of this top lane, especially with the Jax variability that you have. Elk trying to get away is going to be in some trouble. Has no other exit tools but his flash, but gets publicly executed right on the other edge of it. The cast came through from Soboro as well. A little bit of overkill. Now they want to try to find the re-engage on the Jiejie. Jiejie's going to pop the Crescent Guard. Gets a little bit of damage help from Erha, but Jiejie tries to get over with the flash. Soboro will just follow him. 3 Talon Strike will go through though. Can they get him? He's got a lot of healing, but it's not going to be enough. Big man coming around, but it's going to be Wei smiting and taking him down for the kill.
Thankfully, if you are IG, you're saying, well, there's no dragon that we can take. We got a lot of kills in that instance, but Zika is just ruining this turret right now.
Dude,
that Spellblade pack, look at how much attack speed he has.
What the hell, bro? Please bring back my good turrets, please. We've seen turrets in tier 2 melt. I do not.
I think he wins this, and Erha's on his way. He's as a minion right now.
He has flash. He's going to be the bait of a century. There's the Pop Blossom, and he's got all the time to take the Dusk and Dawn, doing so much damage. Jwei doesn't hit the Zenith Blade, and now he's got the improved Blast Cone. My God, that's the greatest escape, and it's only Series 1. Zika
By the way,
back in the bush with the ward, too, because why not?
And Xiaohu gets all of this top wave. He's going to be able to hit this turret if he really wants at this point. Really big win here for Weibo now. It was IG finding some of their members, and that could have been even worse with this Weibo play that followed. Zika making true on one of his iconic champions. This champion was one of the reasons why we were so hyped about him as a rookie going back to 2023.
Yeah, I mean, it was insane what he's able to do on this, and just the power it gives the teams that he plays on LNG mostly, obviously. But when he can have that strength from topside, when he can have that Jax pressure that, oh, they're doing something across map, I'm going to go ahead and take all this gold in the side lane. And now we have about 30 seconds for the next dragon. This would be Weibo's sole point, and they're going to use the Rift Herald right ahead of it to take down this outer tower in mid.
Good planning here from Weibo. Let's just put ourselves in good spots. Again, create conditions that are going to be positive for our team here. They do have to contend with the fact that they have pushing lanes in every single one of them right now, so it's going to feel really good. This will be Weibo going on to sole point here, as long as IG don't contest, but Sivir's not clearing those waves fast enough, even on 3 items. Photic hit 3 before Elk did, and still doesn't have that same level of efficacy.
Soboro getting ran down here. Actually, Jiejie is the one that decides to pull off, and he probably just left Erha to be in some trouble. Zika is here to mock him up. Now Pop Blossom is here. Who is locked in the cage with who? Because I can't tell right now, but I think it's IG is locked in with Weibo, and Weibo is swinging fists left and right. Even Fangs, I don't know how they got that in there, but it's going to be a lot of damage going the way of IG. They do end up rebuffing Weibo just a bit. I do think they're going to collapse around this dragon and just take the objective.
Do IG look to punish? Because they are missing a ton of abilities at this point, but they don't have any waves to play around. They are still no turrets here at 24 minutes. The Phaelites are really doing a lot of work here for Soboro. You force out the ultimate from Xiaohu, but I don't think it matters. Elk is going to pop the lightning crash. We look to try to chase down Photic.
Elk is feeling spicy. I think he might go down for it. Does end up getting a trade kill back on the rookie, though, and now Jiejie will falter as well.
What are we doing?
IG do get a couple kills back. Now Zika's by himself, goes for the flash play. Oh my god, he got the delay on the spell shield. Takes out the AD carry, but will give his life.
Finally, turret's going to go down. This is the first turret of the game here for IG. If they can find Xiaohu, this is a huge win.
This is such a big momentum swing. Xiaohu not going to go down just yet. Soboro was locked up on the other side. But still a nice little shift from IG. They should be able to clean up a little bit more gold on the exit route here through the top lane of Weibo.
They'll grab jungle camps. That was also Photic going down. If Photic had lived, I imagine that could have been at least this mid-tier 2 or even the Baron. You can see that Elk is feeling really empowered because he has those Fiend Hunter bolts. Once he pops the Lightning Crash, those next 3 autos, if they are crits, they give him bonus true damage. He's trying to rip apart Photic here. He feels super empowered, but there's just no setup at this point. Erha doesn't have the Pop Blossom. They don't have too many plays. This is Weibo slowing down the game, which I'm not a huge fan of, I won't lie, but the fact that Zika is able to kind of get some on the back end of this play, and for me anyway, mostly just slow down the game and take away IG from going towards an objective or even pushing out some of these side lanes, which continue to be a reoccurring issue for this team.
Yeah, it really does. It's about just kind of cleaning house, if you will. Making sure you do all the chores needed. But we are reaching the crest of 3 items now for our AD carries. A little bit more ahead of the ball is Elk, but very close behind him is Photic. We'll be getting those 3rd items as well for the solo lanes coming up quick. And I think that's going to be another big precipice to fight off of. You still have a while till the next objective comes through, and a lot of reservation in these next few moments from both sides, realizing that this series relies on this game in the next few moments.
Thankfully, even regardless of the series result, there's a double round robin here for all of our groups, so we will see this matchup again. But, yeah, you know, you always want to set the tone, right? Getting the first win of the season, the first win of your season, I think especially kind of helps them. For IG, they're coming off of a pretty big win. I think they could take it. I think if Weibo were to lose this series, it does call into question kind of some of the expectations we have for this roster. And I say that with them having a 2,000 gold lead and soul point. It would take a miracle, but
it was higher before.
We have literally seen this iteration of the lineup lose with a soul. I think they lost with Ocean Soul in one of those Mazel Cup games. So I put nothing past them.
All right, Soboro going to tank the Twin Fangs. Petrifying Gaze misses while he's in midair. Kind of a weird setup from Xiaohu trying to get that stun down. The rest of Weibo were here to back IG off. Some threatening around the Baron now, but I think it's just going to be a little bit of a dance for this vision around the pit here. You remember when that was illegal to do? You remember when we literally, I think it was Xiaohu, we had to pause the game because he was backing in a bush with the Nico clone? You remember that?
True.
I think that was the year before LPL died. I think it was 2020, 2024. Pretty sure. Maybe?
Wow.
Yeah, I think it was. It was hilarious though.
Yeah, 2024 was definitely when it was Nico mid. Yagao was the GOAT on this champion, right? So I remember that. That Nico bug is still in the game, by the way.
It's great. It's
you're just not allowed to use it. It is actually something that the referees are very much like, you're not allowed to use this because it is an unintended mechanic. So you can use it at home. I keep trying to do it. I need to
keep trying.
Yeah, I mean, there's no league refs when you're in solo queue.
True.
So
not wrong. All right, we got about 35 seconds for the next dragon. This is Seoul. This is the big dog fight for Weibo if they want it, but they don't have to take it.
I think you do. I think you do. If you're Weibo, I think
you don't want to
need
scale
to take
some
this
more.
fight. Why? Who cares? I'm gonna get a Hosh. Either I get Chemtech Soul, or like I get another 5 minutes in this game. Like, hey, I'm okay with that. If I'm being honest, I think the burden of scaling and the burden to try and win this game right now is on Invictus Gaming. They're the ones that need to prove to us that Photic is going to be that guy in this game. That even Rookie, who has had a quieter Aurora game, is going to actually be able to put out that damage that we were expecting.
Yeah, we got 4 items now completed for Alk. This is his time to shine. The item completion over the other side of things with Photic. A little bit of contestation going over the entrance to this dragon pit here. It's all gonna be about how things get added up together. Right now, Weibo gonna take primal position around the dragon. Could look to start this one up. Does give some room for the engage of IG. Late TP coming in from Soboro.
It's a very kind of lackadaisical TP here from Soboro. Again, the upgrade that you get, 30% max HP for 30 seconds, is nuts and should be used as a way to kind of move you forward and be a frontline tank. These are time ticking down. Rookie's on a flank.
Weibo's not in the pit. It goes over. It's actually going to go away. He denies the soul. He'll die instantly. And Erha going for the big pop blossom finds 2. Rookie's still looking for his entrance on the back line, but can't find it. And now they have been scattered to the winds. Weibo Gaming take a 3,000 gold lead. They lose the dragon, but they're going straight to the Baron.
Well, you asked, you know, like, shouldn't Weibo want to be able to scale a little bit more? It's like, oh, well, you know, we have 5 minutes in this game, but yeah, we'll just get a Baron and we'll kill 3 members of their team. I think that's a pretty good win, you know, in my mind, even if you don't get the Baron, or you don't get the Dragon anyway. So, no soul, but still a very commanding lead that Weibo find themselves here in game number 3 of the series. And this Weibo is going to be, this Baron is going to be completely uncontested. Can IG grab a second turret? No, they're not going to be able to grab this mid-tier 2. Jax is going to completely cut that off.
It just feels so bad because it just feels like IG are not finding the angles they need for these fights. The composition itself has some good individual pieces, but it has not come together as a cohesive unit.
It's just coming at it from different angles. Like, once Soboro's on
like
the other
Rookie's
side,
not
he's
doing anything.
nothing. Sure, Rookie's not doing anything, Soboro's not doing anything, and what Photic and Jwei want is a fight that is long and drawn out. You want to be able to plant your feet as Sivir and throw out your spells. You want, as Mbessa, to publicly execute someone in the game and use your spells and use this Endless Hunger. This Endless Hunger item, I think, is a little unexplored. Actually, there's a video that LPL posted on their Weibo where it is Xiaohu and Jiejie going over some of the new items. They place Endless Hunger as the worst item of the new batch. And this item is, you get ability haste based on how much raw AD you have, and if you kill someone, you get flat Omnivamp, which is pretty damn good, but it is very much a feast or famine kind of item.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping we can kind of see that because it allows Jwei to have more of these carry performances that we got from him in Demacia Cup.
Just can't do that if your solo lanes are not in the fight. They literally just ripped out the heart of IG there by taking down the damage dealers. And really just unable to do much. Now Weibo with this Baron buff are going to keep pushing, keep extending this lead. And now their eyes are set on this top side with the Baron buff minions up here. Double cannons as well.
Baron's going to make this so tough. Sivir does make it easier, but I can only lean on the Sivir talking point so many times before it becomes like a null at that point. So Photic will sit in top lane. He'll pick up this wave, and that's about it. Soboro's going to move himself down onto this inhibitor line right now. You can see that IG are kind of on their last legs in this game. They're one dragon away. That dragon bought them 5 minutes here in this one. They're going to need to do it again. And then potentially again, if they want any hope. See in that picture-in-picture that Rookie did some pretty decent damage on Elk.
Not too shabby, but not anywhere near one-shotting potential there. Still have about a quarter of his health left. Ultra Shock Laser is going to be used. They're going to clear out this top-side jungle of IG, steal away even more resources, and take down the top-tier 2 turret. Rookie is a bit caught out here. He needs to be careful. Jiejie was looking for an angle, not going to capitalize on it. They do have the grubs, which makes the ease of turret taking that much more smooth. And they still do also have Zika pushing in the side lane. He's going to actually cheese away for some potential extra farm in the jungle if he wants to. And should just be the back off from Weibo on the top side, which will mean that Zika needs to be a little bit more careful.
I don't care about Zika right now. I care about putting vision. Like, Zika is the last thing that I'm concerned about. You can see that Jwei got 2 wards immediately here. They need to do more because all of Weibo, they put all of their vision on this top side of the map, and now they need to transfer this over. It's going to take time for them to do that, and this would be IG's perfect window to hopefully get themselves a good enough spot, something that they can play off of. Maybe it's this mid-wave. This incoming mid-wave is maybe going to be what they're going to use to springboard themselves into this fight in 40 seconds.
That's the important one. IG did buy themselves a lot of time, though, I gotta say, by stealing away that last dragon so they could give themselves this fight, and it's not over an Elder Dragon to potentially end the game. We did end up getting that 4th item completed there with the GA ready to go for both 80 carries. So got to think about that moving forward into these fights and how they might be looking to play a little bit more aggressive.
Sorry, brother. One of these champions has a completed LDR, and the other one is Sivir. Level 18 reached by our 80 carry on IG. Teleports means that we're just swapping around the roles here. Zika is coming over through one side. Can IG get another steal and still hold on here in this game?
Oh, they know they're getting flanked. They got to be careful. They just left Photic out to dry here, and they jump on him completely. Nobody's there to save him. The whole team is getting turned into mincemeat. Elk goes golden, and with that GA, we'll buy some time. Photic gets jumped on by Zika, and this is exactly where Zika thrives, cleaning up the scraps, heaving all of IG into his gullet. They're going to get the improved Blasco to give Rookie away, but that will be the dragon. That's sold to Weibo, and that's still a 6,000 plus gold lead for Weibo Gaming over IG in their first series.
Not only is Zika a great Jax player, but you look at what he's playing against right now, and even outside the counter lane matchup in this Gragas, which didn't end up doing all that much in the lane, who is dealing with him, and how do you get around this champion? Because Sivir does not want to play against this champion. You can see it right here. You got a spell shield, that's nice. Here you go, knock up 3 Talon Strike, and you get Erha with this Pop Blossom. This is about as perfect as you can get as an engage, and the fight is just immaculate for Weibo Gaming.
I'm just wondering, is Soboro, because they both have the Sterix Gauge shield from the TP. Soboro put himself up in the dragon fight to maybe try to utilize that, but then they just did not man-mark Zika. They literally saw him coming, but Soboro was so far up into the fight that he was not able to body block, and that's just tough timing for IG in that fight, and beautiful execution from Weibo. Now Baron's coming up here.
Baron with a Chemtech Soul, like, who is ever killing this Jax, man? This Jax and this Cassiopeia, they are going to be hard marks to find here. IG backs against the wall, 7,000 gold deficit at 36 minutes here. We're thinking maybe these games would be a little bit faster. We have seen a little bit less action in between the jungles, but it's basically it.
just a caveat, ADC players, feel free to look away. There's a level 20 Jax in the game right now.
Oh.
I understand how much PTSD there is there. Jwei is going to get fully engaged on after he tried to go for his own engage. That's going to be an immediate pick on one of the pillars of IG's composition. Baron is up, and looks like actually a little bit of pinging going over there from Jiejie, but they're going to try to play around the vision here in the mid lane.
We are never contesting this Baron, just hard force down mid lane. Let's take this turret. Let's try to do something with this. The best way you can counteract the Baron is push the waves. We're going to go for the Baron. Wait, just steal it. Just do it. Come on.
There's no Atacon. We got to find a way to throw somewhere. There's going to be the cast, the public execution, everything used from IG. Will it be enough gas in the tank? Unfortunately, Elk is an ADC, and he dies. The Baron will end up going over to Jiejie, and that will just be the final gas tank used by IG. They did get a couple big picks. Zika is still a level 20 Jax. Again, ADC players, look away. He might actually end up going down here. Does still have the GA, by the way. He has Zanya's and GA because he's cool like that. Has his empowered back as well. And I think this is not going to end well for Photic. Does he find a way out? Okay, he's not spotted. Will he make it? It's not fast enough. It's not fast enough. Photic. Oh, he's dead.
I mean, this game's over. Like, Zika can push if he wants. It's a 60-second death timer here for Photic. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
All right.
And
all right.
Zika's just untouchable, man. Like, he still has his G. He's still just pumping damage.
Well, they're bringing in the bottom lane wave here. They're going to have double cannons with Baron buff. They're even having a mid lane wave escorted. Oh my god, Lennon, are we going to see an Elder? Are we actually going to see an Elder in our first series of LPL?
That'd be pretty
can't
sick.
believe it.
Okay, there's TP coming in. Xiaohu showing up against Rookie. Maybe they try to collapse onto Xiaohu early, but I think it's just tough. They're going to just wait for this mid push. And the crystalline growth has already started to wrap around the turrets here. I feel like those maybe should be tied into catch-up mechanics a little bit because they just take the turret like that easy with the buff.
There's a Demolish proc as well. Oh, all right, okay. 3 lanes pushing. There's a super minion starting to spawn on bottom lane. Inhibitors are being taken. This is the last gasp, as we talked about. Weibo, way too strong.
He goes golden. A little bit of pick on the Elk, but it doesn't matter if Elk goes down because the real powerhouse has been Zika the whole time. Level 20 Jax. He's going in 8-1 right now. He's looking for even more. And 4 members, rather, still up for the side of Weibo. And unfortunately, that's going to mean not many more left for IG. They had a triumphant game, number 1. They are the Demacia Cup champions, but Weibo say this is the real deal. This is the LPL regular season, and they will come away with their first win.
And for Jiejie, we talked about, being formally on this IG roster. Was it revenge, or is it confirmation that they did better? IG made it to Worlds, and it's going to be up to Jiejie and the rest of this Weibo team to kind of right the wrongs of a bad 2025.
And what a comeback, man. Game number 1 looks so damn good from IG, and it wasn't even one person from Weibo popping off for the rest of the series. You had Elk doing his job, going in immaculate 19-kill game in that game number 2, and you had Zika in this game number 3, who's just completely unanswerable. Just nobody can touch him, and you saw it coming from a mile away with the way that Weibo drafted.
Hey, he got his iconic champion. I think we got a lot of points to kind of go through once we, have some tape a little bit later on this week to see how Weibo are doing. It feels like they got some of their iconic champions, but can they replicate this against some of the other top teams? Because IG, I think they're expected to do very well, at least in Split 1. We'll see how this looks with Mako potentially joining back later on. But what do they look like versus an Anyone's Legend? What do they look like versus a BLG? Maybe even a JDG, depending on how they look as well. What does this team look like against a top-level LPL roster? That's going to be my kind of real test for them to see whether or not this has the mettle and the gumption that we're going to be expecting.
And I'm very curious at the stats from this one. I'm very excited to kind of look through what we think, not only for MVPs, player of the series, all that good stuff, but I got to see Zika's stats, man. I feel like he was doing disgusting things. I wish we could see tower damage, because how quickly he took that tier 2 in bot side is disgusting.
It's not just him, by the way. All Sheen champions do this, by the way.
Yes,
if you
they
play
do.
Trundle, he deletes these turrets. There are a lot of different champions that can get away with this right now.
It's bad times to be a turret. I guess maybe it's always been, but it's worse now. I don't think turrets have ever come out the winning side.
You know, turrets were a lot stronger, mostly because
the laser beams.
The laser beams are very annoying. I hated
They
those.
were so annoying.
But turrets have been through a lot. You know, turrets, they had to survive through the Akali Shrouds. They had to survive versus the Fioras that we had for a very long time. Fiora, Akali, Aurelia. These
They
kinds
keep
of
getting
things.
remade into different versions of themselves.
I think that these are probably the most awkward-looking turrets we've had in a long time, visually speaking.
But you know it's not awkward, or maybe it is more awkward, the fact that Weibo won this first series, because it just
it's definitely awkward.
A complete weird spin on what this Weibo team can do. Like, what is the possibility? You could be the best of the best. You could go to Worlds. You could go to the finals again somehow.
Pause. We are in January. We are not talking about Worlds right now.
Dude, first game Andes. That's what they call me. I don't know.
So I'm looking at Weibo's schedule. They're playing BLG next, which, if I remember correctly, is going to be tomorrow. So immediately, we talked about getting tests. It's an express shipment to hell right there. They're getting top esports in week 2, AL and JDG. So all in all, I think they will be going up against the top of the table here, and that'll kind of be, I mean, that's BLG's first game going into the season. So I don't know. I'm also really interested for kind of teeing up our next series, top esports. What is their team going to look like, right? Like, they got a lot of new pieces, very unsure about what's going to be going on for this lineup going into 2026, what their aspirations versus reality is going to look like.
I'm very curious at what that second series is going to be looking like as well. Just to see what these iterations of these teams look like in the regular season, at least. That's going to be very curious. If you, I know we're still like looking for stats and stuff like that. If you kind of had to give a Game 3 MVP, does it just go to Zika?
I think it does. And maybe instead of looking at specifically Game 3 as like a singular game, let's open it up to like a MVP of the series.
Okay.
Because there was a lot of discussion around certain players. Like Game 1, we were really down on Xiaohu. Game 2, we're talking about Elk, obviously, as a big performer. I think Elk across all 3 games was probably the most solid generally.
Yeah, I could say that. I think a lot of those smites, even in the losing games, were super, super interesting. And especially the way they kind of controlled the game itself. And I don't think that Jwei had necessarily like the worst series, but it's interesting nonetheless to think about what these junglers, like what that next matchup is going to look like after a little bit of time with these teams. And I do believe that they have just gone straight to an interview with Elk, which is absolutely hilarious. Which means we don't get any of the post graphics, who the MVP is. Hopefully we'll be able to post that later on. But I do believe, do you have any last thoughts on this series between Weibo and their first win of the season?
I'm really happy for them because it would have been really disappointing to see this Weibo team end the year on a disappointment, failing the regional finals versus Invictus Gaming, and now coming back into the year, starting off with a win, beating that IG team. I think it's a good note for them to start on. IG will obviously bounce back, or at least we're hoping so, but I'm really glad because this could have been the start of a very tragic year for some Weibo fans.
It definitely could have been. I think it's a tragic year for IG fans, unfortunately. But hey, we're trying out something new here on LPL English for our 2 series days. We're actually going to be swapping out the casters to get a little bit more breadth of room with our wonderfully new signed talent. So after this little break that's coming up, we'll have Top Esports versus JDG with Slayer and Melvin for Melvin's first cast of the regular season of LPL. Should be an exciting one, and Alk, it has been a pleasure. Make sure you give shout outs to Kai, leading production for the whole day, and we'll see you on the other side of this for what is a banger matchup.